Hi everyone. So this is Madhumati, Assistant Professor, Department of Food Technology, SNS College of Technology. So in this video, let's have a journey on about how the milk is being processed. So we all know that milk plays a very big and an essential role in our life. So we should obviously have a look into how the milk that we consume is being processed. So getting into this, let's have a small visual journey on how the milk that we consume, how it is being processed by ensuring its safety, hygienic quality, as well as and how it is impacting the world globally. So coming into the first thing, how the milk that we are processing or consuming, how it is being harvested. So mainly we all know cows are the only source where the milks are being harvested. So we have to make sure strict hygienic standards have to be maintained by harvesting the milk from the cow. So for that, keeping that in mind, nowadays the farmers have employed some use of the technology that is for milking the milk from the cow. So they are using latest technological milking machines that helps to enhance the efficiency, as well as it will reduce the risk of contamination during the harvesting of milk. And next, coming into this nutritionist. So we all know the milk is highly nutritious, and it is more containing essential nutrients such as vitamins, proteins and minerals. So it plays a vague role in the processing of the beverages or cheese, yogurts, desserts, etc. So also it also gives a pathway for a wide array of dairy products, where consumers can have a lot of preferences where according to their specific needs. So when we look into the impact of the milk, so it has a lot of impact by supporting many millions of people who are actually dependent on their livelihood with the help of this I mean this processing only techniques only. So this dairy farming will contribute to both rural economies, and also will provide livelihood to many families worldwide. So getting into that, let's get into the video how it is being collected and transported. So the first thing that we have to keep it in mind is, before getting into the collection point, we have to make sure that it has come from the farm, or it is being carried out from any cooperative. So making into that, we have to do some strict quality checks in order to maintain the safety standards for the collected milk. So which because if it is not properly maintained in the collection point, sometimes due to the fluctuations in the temperature and the storage practices also, it will affect the freshness, and it will lead to inhibition of the bacterial growth in the milk. So next, first thing is sourcing. So we have to make sure where from the milk is being taken for the processing of milk. So the source from where it is actually coming. So it may come from many cooperatives, or from some directly even from the farmers, or same any local farms also may be adhered. So we have to make sure it is actually ensuring the fair practices, and also consistent supply is being maintained in the particular farm where we are going to source the milk for the processing. Next thing what we have to keep it in mind is the quality check. So obviously the temperature and the hygiene, so both plays the major role. So it has to be monitored at every single stage of the processing milk. So randomly samples have to be taken in order to check whether any contaminant is present, or to include any antibiotics or pesticides, in order to have a compliance with the regulatory and the safety standards. Okay, so next last thing that we have to keep it in mind is the transport thing. So the main thing is the transport. So as we all know that milk may come from the local farms or cooperatives or many other various places, so the distance matters. So what happens is that during the transportation we have to make sure a low temperature is being maintained, that is by incorporating some advanced cooling tanker trucks have to be maintained, so that it will prevent the spoilage. Also it will preserve the quality of the milk and the other nutritional properties that are present in the milk. So for this we can incorporate real-time monitoring systems that will help us to track both the location as well as the temperature. Okay, so next, now we are entering into the processing. So the main first step under processing is nothing but the pasteurization. So from the term pasteurization itself, like it means nothing but we are killing the bacterial microorganisms in order to ensure the safety of the milk, that is to store the milk for a particular time. So for why we are concentrating into pasteurization is nothing but mainly to make the milk for the safe consumption. Okay, so in this pasteurization, in order to ensure safety, there are like two main techniques that are adopted, like high temperature short time and ultra high temperature. Okay, so high temperature short time, in sense it indicates that temperature is high and it is like exposed only for a shorter interval. Okay, so why we are doing that is that nothing but it will like kill all the bacteria that is existing in the milk in order to preserve the milk flavor and the nutritional value. So this will mainly have more effect and minimal impact on the taste. So in this aspect we will be able to retain the taste of the milk originally. Okay, so the temperature here adopted is 72 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds only. Okay, so and after heating itself as such, then immediately it is being cooled also. So next technique is the ultra high temperature. So from the technique itself we can understand that high temperature is being adopted just for only 2 to 5 seconds. That is, here the temperature roll is 135 degrees Celsius. So it will sterilize it to allow for a long time storage without the refrigeration process itself. So UHT milk will helps us to extend the shelf life, and it may also not alter the taste to a much effect compared to the HTST process method. So by the utilization of these two techniques, we can like reduce the risk of the diseases, that is milk borne disease, such as like due to the organisms present like listeria and the salmonella. So it will make the consumption of milk safe for all individuals of all ages, including children, pregnant women and also the elderly adults. So in this way, this pasteurization technique will make the milk much more safety by removing the harmful germs and to ensure a longer shelf life. And so next is the process that we are going to enter into the homogenization process. So homogenization itself is nothing but the we are going to break down the fat molecules from the milk. Okay, so why we should break down the fat molecules is nothing but, so we are going to like separate the fatless milk or the skimmed milk or low fat milk. So we are selling in the markets in the name of that. So in that motto, we are going to do the process of homogenization in order to break down the existing fat molecules in the milk. So what happens is that it will ensure a consistent texture and also taste for the milk. So in this case, how we can achieve that is, we are achieving by using a high pressure homogenizers, so which will force the milk through the smaller spaces at a very high velocity. So by using this technique, the large fat globules that are present in the milk will get broken down. So first thing is fat molecules, we are reducing the size of the fat molecules and forming a creamy layer on the top of the milk. Then homogenization is nothing but, as I told, it is forced through a narrow space at high temperature. So this will break down the larger fat globules to a much smaller ones. So like the size will be only 2 micrometer in diameter, that is the fat size, the broken fat size. The next, due to that, it will result in a very uniform texture and also taste. So by the process of homogenization, we will have a reduced size of the fat globules that will prevent from separating, and also like it will rise on the top and settle. So this will result in a very stable uniform emulsion, thus giving a milk a consistent look. Okay, so this is one of the process of homogenization. Next is the separation and the standardization. So separation, in sense, what we are going to look into this is, we are going to separate the cream separately from the milk. So that is by the process of centrifugation. That is, we are going to separate the milk into skimmed milk, low fat milk and the whole milk. Okay, so this standardization process, mainly it will balance the fat content present in the milk. Okay, so cream separation is nothing but like centrifugation technique is mainly employed to the raw milk into cream and the skim milk fractions, allowing for the production of the milk. Okay, and like at various fat levels, including the skimmed as well as low fat and very heavy cream options also. And next is the standardization. So we are going to standardize, like it involves carefully balancing the fat content and the solid not fat. So standardization is nothing but, we are balancing the SNF and the fat content that is present in the milk. Yeah, why we have to ensure is that, I mean, we have to standardize is that we have to ensure that is a consistency in the taste and the texture of the milk. Next, by doing all this, we have to look into the compliance with the government standards in order, because in many dairy industries, we have to ensure that the milk products, it has to meet the quality and the safety requirements. So safeguarding the public health and maintaining the consumer trust is the main role in this process. So mainly we have to make sure the guidelines that specify the fat content and the pasteurization meet out the protocols based on the industry. Next is the fortification and the additives. So fortification is nothing but, we are going to enhance the existence milk with more addition of nutrients. So fortification, the term is nothing but, we are going to add some extra essential nutrients in order to give a fortified product. So vitamin D is one of the very popular choice, and vitamin A and calcium is also like these are very common. So how we can fortify is, we are giving some flavor compounds or flavor enhancers are being used in order to enhance the vitamin D, calcium, A type of the the essential vitamins, because it will support for the absorption of calcium, as well as it contributes to the well-being and the bone health of even infants or even adults and the elderly people also. The next is the packaging and distribution. So packaging and distribution is nothing but, so now we have processed the milk almost completely. Now we have to concentrate on how and like where we are going to export and what type of technique is being adopted. Based on that, we have to consider the packaging. So we have to make sure hygienic methods are being adopted for packing the milk. So obviously milks are being packed in pouches or cartons or even glass bottles. So after like packing also, we have to mainly look for the the logistic wise. So supply chain logistics plays the major role. So we have to keep in mind that during the transport and distribution also, the particular cold chain is being maintained in order to preserve the quality of the milk. And obviously we have to look into the sustainability aspects also, like when we are using any type of packaging material, so it has to be an eco-friendly packaging material only, because that will help to preserve, and nowadays like eco-friendly beats the other types of packaging also. So with this I would conclude like telling that like how the the dairy sector is been growing with more efficiency, and also by practicing sustainable techniques, and also like nowadays we are balancing it with some plant based alternatives. So maybe probably in the future trends, like many plant based alternatives are going to beat the dairy industry also. So mainly by looking into the efficiency, sustainability and alternatives, we can conclude that like many in future innovations, many plant based fortifications may enhance the nutrition aspects also, and also it will play a very crucial role for the industry's long term sustainability of milk industries. Thank you.